Today, we're going to learn about ducks. In today's video, we are going to talk about these little friends, specifically our cayuga ducks mainly, and those are our 4 black ducks. So we have 3 hens and 1 drake in that. These white ducks are our Pekin ducks. These ducks were in bad shape when we got them. These are the only ones that we got from a store and not from a hatchery. They were all free and they were all near death. So as you can see, they're huge and doing well now. Fun fact about ducks, number 1 is the drakes will have a curly tail. The hens will have a flat tail. I will show you an example. Let me zoom. You can see here on this white duck that's cleaning himself, we've got a little tail flip there, as you can see. And he is a Pekin drake. Let's find our cayuga drake. He's here in the front and he's got a good curl, if you can see that. His head's looking rather blue today. Typically he's looking rather green, just however the sun hits him. So another little note is the cayuga duck and the Pekin duck are both dual purpose meat ducks. This one random tan one here, this is a buff. And then I've got these 2 gray, and they are the blue Swedish. Technically their color is blue. I know when you're looking at it, you're going to be like, that's gray, but it is called blue. So those 3 that are oddballs, they're hens. And we like them. We wanted to try out a few breeds. And honestly, they're just super docile. Hopefully you can see his color on here. There, because the dog is sniffing right here. So those 3 don't really make sense as far as this goes, but they lay really good. They're super friendly. I'm not sure what we'll do in the future, but I'm pretty sure they'll just be hanging out here laying until they no longer. So the cayuga actually originates in the United States, and they are black when they are ducklings. Their feet are black, their little bills are black, and their feathers are black. As they start to grow, you can see that they start to get their hue, and then they're green. Now these ones, I will be bringing in some more hatching eggs from some other lines to really bring out that green and that beautiful hue into our lines, and we're really excited for that. But typically, as they grow and with every molt, they will start to turn white. I will grab one here and show you what I mean. As you can see, we've got some white feathering coming through on this hen. And that is what's going to continue to happen as she gets older. They're in a dang mud pit right now. Another fun fact about ducks, you cannot keep it clean. There's just no way. They love the mud and the water. They need water to eat. They go from their food, and then they've got to be able to dip their bills all the way. I keep wanting to say beaks because of all the chickens. Their bills all the way in. So you need to make sure whenever you're getting a water that they're able to get their head submerged. This whole area that we're looking at here, the pond is back over there. So this pin is going all the way out there. This stuff will be a little bit gone through, and the ducks will have access to this full L. And we are putting in 2 more structures for shelter. Some of them use that house. Most of the time they prefer to use nothing. So we're going to get a couple more and see what they think. Another fun fact about the cayuga duck is it actually, in most of the United States, was replacing the Pekin duck in the meat industry. Let's look at this blue Swedish here. See how they're getting in the mud there? So, another positive and fun fact about ducks, as you might not know, is because their feet are webbed, when they are in the garden, they do not scratch. So they are good for people run them in their permaculture orchards and things to eat their slugs and all of those things off all their trees organically and fertilize the grounds, but they do not disturb the mulch. So that is a huge thing. These guys that we have now aren't flyers, and actually most domestic ducks don't. The mallard does, and you can find it at some hatcheries. Some people choose to raise them and find that they never go far from home. Some they take off. These guys, they'll flutter fly, but they do not actually take flight, and our Pekings, they're too heavy to really get off of the ground. It's these other lighter ones that do. The ducks work similarly to geese in the fact of people joke that they are an alarm system, and they really are. They notice everything, and they will alert, and they will carry on, and that really helps. It alerts the dogs, and so it's kind of a cool little thing. We are adding a trio of geese and black runner ducks, Welsh harlequin ducks, and khaki Campbell ducks to our homestead this spring. I'll have to look at the date, but I'm pretty sure that they come in April. This little garden over here that I started, this will be growing peas and things like that for these ducks, peas, greens, things of that nature. It will extend out. We'll be growing some of our grains up here too. We'll have a compost over there. So this area we're still working on. We will also be planting some trees on the side here that'll drop some fruit in for the ducks, and then we are leaving in a good bit of the blackberries, and they don't fiddle too much with the blackberries until they really start coming on. We discovered that in this section that used to be fully covered. This whole section was completely covered in blackberries and trees and grasses, and they have eaten it down all the way, so they have done a really great job. Another fun fact about ducks is people say, oh, aren't they cold? Their feet are so cold. Actually, they have a constant exchange of blood going from in their body to their feet, and that helps them to stay warm and not get that frostbite nature. They have a set of, they're wearing a down coat basically, so they actually are quite warm. When you pick them up, they are just still warm and snuggly. This one right here, you'll notice she's walking a bit funny. She was the other of the pair of the one that we did lose. Two of them drowned when they were very young from one of the drakes kind of pushing them down a little bit. So that happened, and now she's got a little bit of a leg thing, but otherwise she does real well, and so we're pleased with that. Oh, I got a cat on my back. A lot of things people might not know. I'm going to zoom in, see if we can get this green hue on him. Some things people might not know is that ducks are not herbivores, just like the chickens. They are omnivores. They eat snails and slugs and insects and the worms and all of those type of things. They will also eat little fish, and we will be supplying all of those things for them. Another fun fact about ducks is that ducks can see 340 degrees. They have excellent vision. Because of the placement of their eyes, they can see a lot of area, and because of the shape of their eyes, they can also see near and far simultaneously. Ducks have 3 eyelids, and they do see in full color. As you're about to hear, you cannot sneak up on ducks. They already know you're coming. We don't use this. I gotta take this thing out. I'll take it out now while I'm thinking about it. Oh, it's completely frozen. Anyways, as you saw, you cannot sneak up on them. They will stop what they're doing. They know that you are coming well before you you get there. This was clean this morning. Just put that in there. I took all the ice out and put it in fresh water, and then they took a bath. I guess they decided I wasn't going to bother them. Whenever they tip their head to the side like that, I think it is so adorable. So another fun fact about ducks, and I'm sorry for the shadow, it's the placement of the sun, is ducklings, when they are born, they are super hardy, and also they are really fast growing compared to, say, chicks or turkeys. Our ducklings, by far, easiest to brood. They require heat, a lower temperature, and for less time. They're ready for outside rather quickly. They are born with their eyes open, and by 2 months, they are, ready to flap around. A mallard at 2 months, they can be flying. You will find ducks on every continent except for Antarctica, in fresh and in saltwater. Obviously, these ducks are domestic, and we keep them here, but just a fun fact about ducks. For us, we will be covering with a net over our pond as to discourage any wild birds from thinking it was a source of water for them, because these are domestic, and we do want to make sure that we are having some good biosecurity as far as the wild birds coming in, because we don't want any avian influenza or anything like that, which is going around. Just like chickens, ducks' egg production is affected by daylight hours. Duck eggs are typically equivalent to about 2 chicken eggs, it seems, except for some of our chickens. Man, they just pump out double yolkers like nobody's business. But yes, these guys, some people say duck eggs have a different smell or a richer taste. We have found that we prefer the duck eggs, and we have found that they are amazing for baking, and also the dogs really love to eat the duck eggs, but we just use them in place of chicken eggs. We've had absolutely no problem, and we sell eggs to some of our customers, and people love to get the duck eggs just as much as the chicken eggs, it seems. So that's a whole lot of information about ducks. Hopefully you'll find that you want to bring them onto your homestead, whether it be for meat or eggs or selling ducklings or an organic source of pest control. We can't imagine not having ducks. Thanks for hanging out with us today. See you next time.